I just wanted to ask where you were from. I was like, she doesn't look like typical Swedish girl.
No, I'm from Peru.
Oh, really? The home of ceviche.
Excuse me?
The home of ceviche.
Yeah, of course.
That's cool. Okay, nice to meet you, James.
Andrea.
Andrea. Nice to meet you.
Christina.
What's your name?
Christina.
Christina. So you guys are on vacaciones aquí, or you live here, or what?
We live here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, unusual. Yeah, we basically 3 friends. We came to Stockholm to escape the coronavirus.
Okay.
We're from London, but we're just like, fuck this. We don't want to be like locked down. We want to come and just chill out here. But we. Well, what's that?
Put your pin in. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, we've come on like the worst weekend because obviously it's midsummer, so it's super quiet. And what do you do in life?
We are studying IT security.
You don't look like typical kind of IT girl.
No?
Well, I imagine it's. Oh, this is my friend Ed.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I imagine typical IT girls like glasses, a bit geeky.
What's your name?
Andrea.
Nice to meet you.
Have you got any recommendations for Stockholm? So basically, we're here until we came yesterday, and I stay until next 1 week Monday.
Yeah.
Do you have any like recommendations for like place to go out? Or?
Oh, you know, it's Corona time and almost everything are closed, but I think...
But this is just for midsummer.
Yeah, of course.
Like next week, it'll be okay, right?
Maybe, I don't know all the places if it's open or it's closed.
I don't know, I thought you looked very young.
Research with the hotel because almost half of the clubs is like...
The clubs are all shut. But to be honest, like I prefer bars. So do you have any like recommendations for like any bars or anything?
You know, Strandvägen have very good bars.
What's the name?
The street, Strandvägen.
Like near Stureplan.
Yeah, near Stureplan. This is Strandvägen.
Oh, this is
They are the
Strandvägen.
best bars and near Stureplan.
And where's your favourite? Do you have a personal like recommendation? Is there like a Peruvian bar you go to?
Yeah, you know what?
You eat guinea pigs? Did you ever eat this Did you try this in Peru?
Oh, I love them. Like you know.
I actually when I went and did Machu Picchu and then.
Have you been there?
Yeah, and I did the Machu Picchu, and I ate some guinea pigs. They're quite nice.
Oh, you have eaten?
Yeah, in Peru.
Oh.
It's like the Peruvian national dish. Ceviche, guinea pigs.
I don't like it.
Did you go to
I
London?
love animals. Yeah.
Okay.
I love them.
Did you go to London before? Did you travel much outside of Sweden?
Not to London, but I have traveled in Africa, Asia.
Africa.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
Yeah, I love it.
Was it like South Africa or somewhere else?
Tanzania and Kenya.
Like Colombian.
Yeah, I was in Kenya. It's beautiful. But the islands, you must go to the islands.
You know, I've been in a safari, you get all the
And how did it come that you ended up in Sweden? Like,
because my father and my mother came here when I was 3 years old. And so
so you were born here. Ah, okay. So you can speak Swedish.
Yes.
It seems like super complicated language to me.
So,
Well, I know like one word is like tack, skull,
okay.
skull. That's all I know. You have to teach me some Swedish. Well, yeah. Look, another time if you're free, I'd love to take you out for a drink. Do you have WhatsApp?
Yes, I have.
Soy medio español y medio inglés.
What would you like to know about me? You can ask me one question. Only one. Only one.
Mi madre.
Okay. Are you a player?
Am I a player? Define player. I know. I've got it in London. I have a wife, 3 kids.
Oh, you have?
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm single.
I was like, oh my god.
No, I'm single. I think my longest relationship was 5 years.
Not the day.
My 10.
10 years. I'm sorry. You had to go through 10 years. Fucking hell. Was it with a Peruvian guy?
No, half Swedish, half Moroccan.
Half Swedish, half Moroccan. There seems to be like loads of kind of.
Yes, mixed culture.
Yeah, like I met loads of like Swedish Iraqi, which is unusual.
Yes.
But I think Sweden is quite a liberal place, so people just come and they're very welcoming, right? It's live and let live.
How old are you?
What do you think? You get 3 guesses, and I get 3 guesses. Whoever gets it right Right. Then, okay, I think you're studying 26.
I've never met anyone in my time.
Okay, your second guess for me.
Okay. 31.
Close. 24. 24. You're going to be like 50 or something.
I'll be doing something after.
Okay, you are 32.
33. Close.
No.
And you?
31.
Oh, really? You look fucking super young. Your friend is the same age?
29, 30, I think.
She's also from Peru.
El Salvador.
In where?
El Salvador.
Ah, this is like super dangerous. Muy peligroso, no? Like, you say hello to someone, they just go, no.
She's dangerous.
She's what?
She's dangerous.
In her gun, in her handbag, she has.
That's a really big amount of commitment.
And what will you guys do tonight?
We're going to
You travel half the world just for your boyfriend.
Yeah, I saw people yesterday. The boat leaves. Where does it go?
No, it's an event just for today.
Okay.
That wasn't
So
necessarily
it's
a
today, like 7 o'clock here, this boat.
And does the boat leave or it just stays? And where does it go?
All Stockholm.
Just slowly. And they just give you alcohol. And then hopefully no one falls overboard.
It's a Latino party.
Really? Oh no, you're going back to the homeland. Okay. Yeah, it's I think is it normal to have like boat party? Yesterday I see like lots of boats.
First one here in Stockholm to have a Latino party. Boat
Really?
Party, yes.
It's cool. And how did you find out about it?
A friend to me used to do
That's cool. That's really cool. Cool.
It's the same in London.
What do you do?
I work in property. So like I buy and sell house. It's cool. For me, I love to travel. So I'm from London, but I spend like zero time in London. I'm always travel. I spend a lot of time in South America, but mainly Brazil or Colombia. Not so much Peru. Yeah.
Latin America?
It's amazing. Yeah. I think it's crazy. The culture is so different. Like it's a bit. It feels like you feel alive, you know, because the life can be a bit dangerous, but you feel good because it's. I think the problem with places like Sweden, everything's too safe, you know. It sounds like crazy to say, but I like the kind of fear of the unknown. So Latin America's great. Yeah. Did you go to other countries in South America or just Peru?
Only Peru.
You went back to Peru, right? Since you've been here. Yeah.
My grandmother.
And she speaks only in Spanish.
You're like a massive tech nerd.
Too many drinking in Sweden.
I would never
She's
imagine that
Catholic
from
too,
you.
so she's like,
Never
oh,
get
you
an
need to
attractive girl doing like
pray.
that kind of stuff.
How do you spell?
Andrea.
Andrea.
Like sweaty and everything.
Do I take off the zero?
You don't fit the stereotype of that.
Yes, you can take off.
Cool.
Do you speak Spanish?
Solo un poquito. Mi portugués es más mejor que mi español.
Tú.
Mi portugués. Porque estaba en Brasil normalmente para 3 meses y in every year. Yeah, I can speak very bad Spanglish. Your English is better than my Spanish. Yeah, of course. You speak perfect English. They're going to a boat party tonight, like a Latino boat party.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are you guys from, sorry?
El Salvador and Peru.
Oh, wow, okay.
But Swedish.
Vivo en España.
¿Tú vives en España?
Sí, vivo en España.
You have lots of right? Vecina's a very Spanish name.
Ahora no.
I have like
Solo Corona.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't watch some problems.
Cool, man. That sounds promising, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
There's a lot of South Americans, like
Yeah.
Barcelona, there's loads of South Americans. Like half like population is like.
Do you want to head off then? Should we head off?
Yeah. Maybe we'll meet up.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'll send you a message. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
He just smashed the glass.
Sorry about that.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Okay. I owe you the first food.
Is your hand or you didn't cut your hands?
Vamos, amigo, vamos.
We have to get out of the place, don't we?
Say again?
We have to get out of the place.
Okay. Oh, what, the glass?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah, did it go inside there as well? No glass in.
Actually, not over a glass. Yeah, sorry about that. As you can see, James obviously started off approaching the first girl, and then I joined after about a minute or so. I guess there's no kind of right or wrong way to do it in terms of approaching twos. However, as you can see in this, I just waited 1 minute just to kind of, I guess, not to overwhelm them too much initially. Because obviously when you got two guys approaching, it can feel a bit intimidating for some girls. But
yeah, it's good to just judge kind of the receptibility as well, isn't it? If one guy goes in, how open to having a conversation are they? And they were. And then after 1 minute you came in, it's just like, hey, this is my friend Ed.
Exactly. With one guy, you can already tell like the receptiveness, and if they are receptive, which they were, then the other guy has the green light to go in. So you can just tell after about a minute or so. So that's just what we decided to do here. You know, you can wait a bit longer. It doesn't matter too much. But yeah, just kind of play it by ear, really.
And then what other points we're going to make? So, yeah, the other thing that we both did quite well is, I don't know how much you could hear Ed talking on the conversation. No, I mean, I don't know how much these guys could have heard on the actual clip of us, but what guys should do, whether it's in the street or on a bar, is basically, divide and conquer. Both be having our separate conversations. And the reason for that is if you're having kind of group messed up chat, it's hard to kind of convey intent and know what's going on, isn't it? So it should just be two conversations within that one conversation.
It's like, say you're on the street and you approach a two set just by yourself. Of course it can work, and sometimes a friend can actually help continue the conversation and that sort of thing. But if you both fancy either one of the girls, then just isolate them and do your thing with each one, and then that way you have a decent shot, because at least that way you're going to have a decent amount of time to do all the attraction stuff as well as all the investment stuff, to really solidify that interaction.
Yeah, and the final thing we were going to talk about was me and Ed in Stockholm, we're not actually staying together. He's in one place, I'm in another. If we've been sharing an Airbnb, or if we're staying in like a whatever apartment together, then the sensible thing to do would probably be double date them. But because we're not in the same apartment, the logistics are different. Probably the sensible thing to do is go one-on-one, just because it's a bit easy to split it up like that.
Yeah, and I think because they were South American, they tend to be, from what I know, they tend to be quite comfortable doing double dates. Perhaps even it might actually be even more advantageous to do a double date with them, because they, from what I know, they do tend to be receptive to that kind of idea.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Anything else?
I think if you do decide to do the double date thing, it is important that you do consider your logistics. So let's say you are in two different locations or two different accommodations. There is going to come a point where you're going to have to split. So both the girl and her friend are going to have to split as well. So you need to kind of consider how you're going to do that.
Well, I mean, the easy way around that is if one of you is staying in a big apartment, it doesn't really matter, even if the other's not staying there, because you can kind of separate within the house and get physical. But in this case, you've got just a singular hotel room, and I've basically got a very small apartment, which is just one room. So yeah, logistically it's not really possible, I don't think, to bring them back to the same place, so you have to look to split them up.
Yeah, split them up. But yeah, I mean, if there's a good amount of escalation taking place, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Cool. Anything else?
I think that's mostly it. I guess just in terms of the conversation, I'm not sure how much you remember of it, because we're actually recording this the next day, but was there any kind of key points that they're going to hear mostly you speaking, was there any key things you remember from that was worth highlighting?
Look, I think initially she was a bit quiet, she wasn't really giving me much, and I think there's a tendency, isn't there, with this stuff to always view it on the negative side, like, oh, she's not into me. But some girls are just a bit shy, and she's a bit intimidated by a guy coming up and being very ballsy and just starting a conversation. So Peruvians, I know they're not particularly, they're not like kind of Brazilians or Colombians where they're quite outgoing South American in terms of South American standards. So, and also, obviously being in Sweden, people are very reserved here. So, yeah, if they are giving you a bit of a rabbit in the headlights thing, don't necessarily construe that as lack of interest. As long as she's replying, just stay in there, just keep going for those first couple of minutes. And as you can see in the conversation, after a couple of minutes, she started to open up a bit.
She did, yeah. So I actually remember looking back on it. You asked her what did she want to know about you, just as a way of getting her to be a bit more invested. And then she actually kind of spiked up the conversation through doing that by asking, "Are you a player?"
Yeah,
that's
I remember
really,
that.
really good sign.
Yeah.
She would, if she didn't give a fuck about you, she wouldn't ask that, would she?
No, it's definitely a sign of interest. Yeah, and I guess on that point, at any point, if you feel you are kind of holding court too much and you are kind of hogging the limelight, and you want her to do some more work, just say, hey, look, what would you like to? I mean, you can even make a joke out of it, like I'm hogging centre stage here. Ask me a question. What would you like to know? Make sure it's not boring, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's a really good way thing to do. If you feel like the investment side of things is slightly lacking, where she might have spoken a large amount about herself, diving deep a bit, about her background, etc. But if she doesn't know anything about you, then it's always better if you can actually reveal information about yourself, just so she's got a good picture of who you are, so that afterwards, when she remembers you, she actually thinks of an actual person who's a cool and interesting guy.
Yeah, and girls aren't necessarily experts. Like we assume they're just gonna, when they've hooked, be asking loads of questions. It doesn't necessarily work like that. Girls aren't. They haven't done this hundreds of times. They're not necessarily good conversationalists. So maybe they are just a little bit more reserved or quiet, or again, kind of a bit stunned by it all. So yeah, you've got to provide a bit of information about yourself as well. Keep the conversation mostly on her, but also throw in little bits about yourself or ask your question here or there. Just make sure she's actually engaged.
Yeah. Cool.
Any other points?
No, I think that's mostly it, really.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, obviously we're in Stockholm at the moment, so if you'd like to see more of this and join me and Ed, get in contact with Ed at his email address below, and he can have a chat with you about potentially joining on the boot camp. There's a couple of spaces left for Stockholm. I think off the top of my head we're going to be there 5th till the 10th of August. Yeah, we've got room for 2 more students, so yeah, be great to have you along. And again, just email saying you'd like to have a chat, and Ed will get on a free consultation with you and map out where you're at, where you want to go, and kind of what's stopping you getting there at the moment, and how we can help you, how we can help you, and figure out if it's a good fit. So yeah, send Ed an email.
Get in touch with me. My email address is ed@ed-game.com.
Cool. Yeah, and you'll jump on the phone and have a chat, and yeah, hopefully see you in Sweden.